Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sorry for the delay. We were facing issues with connecting the screens. So I hope all the screens are working now. Can you guys hear me? Hamdan, can you get me the iPad from the side? iPad. Okay, so what we will do, inshallah, I received some questions. I've sent you the solutions for the practice which we have given. So some of you actually have sent questions. So before we talk about the new questions or new topic, inshallah we will go through the solution first. Some of these specific examples which could be challenging. So inshallah we will review that first before we start the new topic, inshallah. Can you guys hear me better now? Yeah. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So what we will do, let me open the examples from page number 14 first, and then you can note down any questions. So few of the points which could be challenging. So if you would see the pattern, you remember we said that for the broken plural, normally they also have the similar ending sound as we have for singular, and we would only know broken plural by knowing the meaning. So that is the reason when you would see in this example, wherever I have given you the meaning, I have also written at the bottom that they are the either intellectual being or non-intellectual being, and then you will apply the logic of the broken plural based on that understanding. So if you see hujuri is actually a it is a broken plural for a non-intellectual being, and the meaning is stones. So grammatically, broken plural of non-intellectual being are considered one feminine. That's why the answer has F and 1 as well. So 1F. The rest all I believe is quite straightforward. Similarly, imanu, excuse me. So this also means oath, and this also is a broken plural, and it is a broken plural of the non-intellectual being. That's why this also grammatically would be considered 1F. So I'm just going through the difficult parts which could be challenging. Then the rest all is clear. Samir, this is the answer for your question. So this is, it is a bit more than what we have studied, but so far whatever we have studied based on that, this would be feminine as well because of the ta coming before ina. And then sunana, which means ways, path or practices. So this is also a broken plural of sunnah. So somebody has their own way of doing. So this is practices or ways. So this is broken plural, and that's why this is also 1F. Then as-sabila. Now this is considered feminine because Arab consider this feminine. So this is part of page 12. And even in your Qur'an also, you would see the same. So sabil, the word sabil, which means the way or the path, is also considered feminine. And because this is 1, so the answer would be 1 feminine. Then hada'iqa. So this is also another broken plural, which is for gardens. So gardens are not part of the intellectual being. That's why they also would have the 1F as an answer. So please let me know if you want me to stop and clarify. Then an-nafsu, again this is from page 12. So nafs is considered feminine in Arabic, and this is also in your page 12. So that's why the answer is 1F. Then narun, again this is from page 12, and if you try to remember or try to recall, we have discussed that all the names of the hellfire are considered feminine. So we may find different names, Jahim and other words as well. So they are all considered feminine. So Narun also is feminine because of that. So this is for page 14. Is there any question from page 14?
Yeah, the word in 13, mi'atain.
Yes.
So this is sound like a taini, sound like a female, but why is it masculine? Yeah, I understand that it's pair. Just trying to understand why is it masculine?
Yeah, it is actually feminine. So the way this works, if you would use the numbers for feminine, for example, you're saying 100 women, so then that count is also considered feminine. If you would use it for masculine, then also this is considered. So it depends based on the context which we are using. That's what I was saying, that it totally depends on the context. Because of the context. Aini is not taini. Ta normally indicates feminine. Muslimataini would give you that you're talking about Muslims in feminine. Yeah, Mia is the word for 100. Miataini means 200.
Word doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest.
Yeah, you would.
Most of my answers, I didn't speak about it.
Yeah, so as of now, you only need vocabulary when we are talking about broken plural. Rest all, we would go through the logic, and inshallah you would know why. It is a bit lengthy process, but if you really need to dive deep into the meanings of Quran, into the meanings of the Arabic in Quran, we have to go through this way, inshallah. And you would understand, like initially during first few sessions, you guys must be thinking, why are we studying 4 properties and all? But I believe based on what we have studied during the last session, now you would appreciate that yes, the understanding of 4 properties would help us to know a lot of things with respect to the fragments. I hope that makes sense, right? Ryan, can you give it to them instead of keeping it with you?
Thank you. Number 23, Majidun.
Yeah.
So this is masculine, right? Because of the name.
So no, it's not because of the name. We said that we need to have clear identifications for something to be feminine. So we categorize 6 things if you try to recall, and we do not find anything in this.
Oh, so default then.
So it's the default, yeah. Good. If we have one of those 6 criterias, then we would consider an ism or a word in Arabic to be feminine. Otherwise, it would be masculine. Anything else? Okay, I do have some questions which I have received. And in fact, let me go through the other pages as well. So I think this should be quite straightforward. Is there anyone who has questions from this one, the proper and common? I'm just checking. I received some comments from sister's side as well. Okay, so I think this page is clear, right? Let's go to the next one. So here, before I go into the points received from the sister side, I'll quickly mention few important points here. So if you see number 10, zira'i. So this is the lighter version of zira'ain. So the noon is missing, this is light. So this could be nasab or jar, and then with aina ending, we know that this has to be 2 masculine, and there is no identification for this to be proper. That's why this would be common. Sorry? So if you, for this, if, how do we know if something is masculine or feminine? The answer would be from this. So we studied these 6 criterias. If we do not find any of this, then the answer for the gender would be that it is considered masculine. Sorry? We are not talking about meaning. So imagine if you are not able to identify something. So currently what we are doing is we are understanding how to identify. Once you are able to identify, then we will talk about meaning. Because if you cannot even identify, then knowing meaning would be that you don't understand, but you have memorized something without understanding. You understand? Because inshallah later you would understand that from the same root words, you would be able to make more than 100 or maybe up to 1,000 words as well. If you go through the proper channel, which we are going through inshallah. But if we would only memorize, then we are talking about memorizing those many words. So if you would understand the logic, you don't need to memorize inshallah.
But Zaid, on the same word, on that note, but we said the body part in pair. So this zira'i, it's the arm, right? So we have 2 arms. I'm just trying to understand this.
We are not talking about meaning for now.
Right, but I understand. But you know, didn't you say that in this 6th category, it's an arm? When we arm, it's supposed to be a feminine. Why is it masculine here? This is what I'm trying to understand.
So
we don't understand it, but just say for the sake of understanding the meaning, zira'i is the arm. We have 2 arms, body parts, for this word.
Can you take this as a homework for you, as a challenge to find out more? I don't want to confuse everyone now, but if you really want to discuss, I don't want to go about the meanings for now.
Okay.
Because we are trying to understand the logic, and then inshallah we can do, or if you really want to discuss, the word for hand is yad.
Yes.
This is not yad. So anyway, let's not discuss that now.
So it's a default amr, you're saying, right? Here, I'm just trying to understand this again. It's a default we are taking?
So for now, for few reasons, I would not specifically mention a lot of things now because I want to take you step by step. So for now, whatever we have studied, we are applying that logic. Inshallah, later I will guide you with more things because there are many people who are coming from basics. That's why let's keep basics so that everyone will be on the same page. But if you really want to have detailed discussion, I would appreciate that we discuss it separately. Then number 13. So in my notes, apologies, I have used some short forms. So whenever I'm writing BP, this means broken plural. So don't get confused. I was having a word with Brother Rashid. So BP means broken plural. And an-naharu means rivers. So this is also broken plural. And the singular for this would be nahar. So that's why based on that logic, this would be one feminine. Okay. Then ar-rihu, again this is from page 12. And this is considered feminine because Arab consider this feminine. So that's why the answer is 1F. Then as-suqi, again this is a broken plural, so this means markets. And that's why the answer would be 1F. Then if I go up, so ath-thamarati means fruits. So this is the normal ending. So that's why the answer is 3F. Sabilin is again the way, and this is from page number 12. So this is feminine because Arabs considered sabil as feminine. Now, al-malaikati. So now this is broken plural, but this is a broken plural of intellectual being. So malaika are the angels. That's why the answer based on reality would be 3 masculine, or grammatically would be 1F as well. So both can be the answers. Yeah, don't get confused with this one. This is the name. So Al-Furqani, Furqan is one of the name for Quran as well. So that's why this is considered one masculine. You would not consider this Ani ending as, it's not Ani, it is Furqana. So don't get confused with Alif and Noon ending. Al-Ardi again is the feminine because of Arab set. So this is from page 12. Nisa'a is broken plural for female. So that's why, based on reality, the answer could be 3 feminine or grammatically 1 feminine as well. And then asatiru would be 1 feminine, and this is also a broken plural for myths. And al-ula, so this is the ya ending. This is feminine because of that. So if you try to recall the ending of ya maksura, would give us the feminine. So that's why this is feminine. And this normally words which are ending with ya maksura are non-flexible, which means they could be rafa, nasab and jar. Now let me quickly see what I have received from sister's side. Al-Husna. So what is the number for Al-Husna? Okay. So there was a question from sister's side that why this is 1F. I believe that might be the confusion. So Al-Husna, this is ending with the Ya Maksura. So Ya Maksura is the identifier which we have from the feminine chart, if you see here. So that ending would tell us that it is feminine. And we do not have any other identification to know that this is more than 1. So that's why this would be 1 feminine, and it could be Rafa, Nasab and Jar because of the same which we have discussed earlier as well. Because words which are normally ending with Ya Maksura, they are non-flexible. Then Ar-Rihu, I think we have already answered that one. So Ar-Rihu is part of page 12. Al-Ula we have already covered. Dalath is actually the Arabic for Dallas. So this is a proper name for a place, and name of the places are considered feminine in Arabic. Like if you would use the name of Sydney or even Australia or Makkah or all other cities as well. So this is the name of the place, and that is why this is 1 feminine. And the other question was about as-suqi. I think we have already covered as-suqi. So this is a broken plural, and based on the broken plural of the non-intellectual being, that's why this is 1 feminine. And then al-alamina, where is al-alamina? Let me check that. Yeah, this one, okay. So I don't understand the question here. Yeah, I forgot to mention this would be 3 here. So I'm not sure what is the question from sister side. Do we have mic in the sister area? If you can clarify the question, because I'm not sure what you have written here. So this would be 3 because of ina ending. Okay, is there any question? Yes, Rian?
What was An-Nisa'i again?
Sorry?
What was An-Nisa'i again?
An-Nisa'i. Are you talking about this one? An-Nisa'a? So this is the broken plural for female. So and female are intellectual being. That's why based on we will have 2 options. We would have one based on reality and one based on grammatical analysis. So this could be 3 feminine or 1 feminine both. Is there any question? Any clarification?
What was Dallas again?
Okay, you see me later. Okay. Any other questions? Brother Rashid, is it clear? No? All good? Okay, inshallah, we will proceed then. So, last week, and Brother Ahmed, we can inshallah discuss after the class the point which you were discussing, inshallah, because I don't want to confuse everyone at this stage. So we started, because we have few faces who were not present in the last class, so I will quickly recap and then we will go with the new concepts as well. So far we have studied the 4 properties of an ism, right? Now, we said that when we are studying the 4 properties, those 4 properties would help us to know that how the relationship between 2 words are made in Arabic, okay? And in Arabic, if we have more than 2 words which are connected to each other, they are called murakkab. In English, we call them fragment, and in Urdu also it is murakkab. So when 2 or more than 2 words are connected to each other, they are called murakkab. Now, we have 2 types of murakkab when we are talking about the fragments. We have murakkab-e-naqis, which is, let's say, more than a word, but less than a sentence. So we still have more than 1 word, but we have not a complete, we don't have a complete sentence to make a logical meaning. On the other hand, we can have murakkab-e-ta'am, which is actually a sentence. So it would give you the complete thought that what are you trying to say. So we took the example of deep sea versus sea is deep. So in deep sea, we are not completing the meaning. We are just saying deep sea, but you would still ask, what are you trying to communicate? Whereas sea is deep gives you the complete sentence by telling you that the sea is deep. So we took this basic example and then we started about the fragment analysis. So we said fragment is less than a sentence. I'm just making it quick because we have already covered in our last session. So a fragment is less than a sentence but more than a word. A fragment is formed when 2 or more words come together but do not form a complete thought. So it would not be a complete sentence, but it is still something which is more than a word. Then we said that the word is a fragment. They can have relationship between each other. So now when we are analyzing fragments in Arabic, some fragments can be the combination between an ism to another ism. On the other hand, we can have a fragment where we are talking about a harf and an ism. So these are the 2 possibilities which we can have in fragment. And we said that in Arabic, mainly the fragments or the murakkab can be classified into 5 main fragments, right? And we will analyze them one by one. So now, for the fragments, we have murakkab-e-naqis, which is not a sentence, or murakkab-e-tam, which is actually a proper sentence. For sentence type also, there are 2 types of sentence. One is a jumla ismiya. Now, in Arabic grammar, jumla ismiya is a sentence which starts with an ism, and that's what we are studying now. And then the other type is jumla fi'liya, and that would be a sentence which would start with a fi'l, regardless if the jumla ismiya has n number of fi'l after that. The rules would still be following jumla ismiya rule. On the other hand, when a sentence is starting with a fi'l, regardless we would have n number of ism later, the rules of grammar would be applied based on the jumla fi'liya. And we are not studying those rules yet, but inshallah they would come later. At this stage, our stage 1 was to identify a single word. Now we are talking about more than 1 word. So for more than 1 words, we said there are 5 fragments. 2 of the fragments are having the relationship between an ism and a harf, and 3 are between an ism and an ism. So this is the list. And in our last session, we started studying idafa, which was our first fragment which we studied. So idafa is a fragment where we are now referring to two ism connecting to each other. And then we also saw that how they would, like how would we understand the meaning from there. So we said, we took the examples from English that the house of Allah, the religion of Allah, my car also can be written as the car of mine. Allah's book also can be written as book of Allah, and his pen also can be written as pen of his. Taimur's glasses can be written as glasses of Taimur. So we said, now in idafa there are two key components. One is called mudaf and the other one is called mudaf ilay. So mudaf is the word which comes before the of. So if we take the examples, what we have, the house of Allah, so the house would be mudaf. The word Allah would be mudaf ilay, right? Similarly, the religion of Islam, so the religion would be mudaf and Islam would be mudaf ilay. Then book of Allah would be the complete fragment. So book would be our mudaf and Allah, the word Allah would be mudaf ilay in our case. Is it clear? Any questions? Yes, ma'am. Sorry? Not really. We saw that the fragments can be longer as well. So the minimum is 2 words, but the fragment can be longer as well, and we saw the example in the last session as well. Inshallah, we will continue. So the question was that in the fragment, is it mandatory that we will only have 2 words? The answer is no. As long as the rules of the fragment would be applied, or applicable, sorry, we can have a longer fragment as well, and we saw the example.
So can it also be, I said...
So the idafa would only be between ism. And I'll show you the example again, if you forget from the last session.
Oh, yeah, we did, yeah.
So the example was Maliki Yawmiddin. We will see, inshallah. So now, we said that there is no word for off in Arabic. And by knowing the logic of idafa, we would be able to translate the words in Arabic with off in the meaning. So it's like we have the house of Allah. So we don't have a specific word for off, but we would know by knowing that how the idafa works, that when we are translating, we would have off in the meaning. So we said for a mudaf is the word which comes before off. It has to be light. So now we will make use of whatever we have studied. So it has to be light, plus it cannot have al. Rayan, are you keeping your hand up because you have a question, or what is your question?
Have you learned متماثلين المتجانسين المتقاربين?
Can you stay in the class?
Huh?
Okay, I think it's better that you give the mic to Samir, because you're not paying attention in the class. So mudaf is the word which comes before of. So we said for something to be a mudaf, it has to be light and it cannot also have al beginning. Mudaf ilay would be the word which comes after of, and how do we know? That word has to be in jar status. And the most important thing is both mudaf and mudaf ilay do not accept long relationship. So we cannot have another word coming in between these two. So if an ism is light and it does not have al, and the next word is in jar status, we can be confident that it is mudaf ilay, which means the fragment can be named as idafa. And you would the way you would translate that, murakkab or the fragment would be whatever is mudaf of mudaf ilay. So far, even if we are not knowing the meaning, so we would add of between both, right? And then we said as the mudaf will never have al, because that is the first rule which we are studying. How would we know when it is proper and when it is not proper? So mudaf, if it is proper or not, would only be known based on mudaf ilay. Because mudaf ilay, we do not study that cannot have al. So mudaf ilay can be proper, or it can have al as well. So now we said that for us to know that when is mudaf proper, if mudaf ilay is proper, mudaf also would be considered proper. And then we said both mudaf and mudaf ilay should be ism. So this was your question, that if harf can come in between. No, it cannot. At least for this scenario, it cannot. For this fragment, we can only have this between one ism and another. Now we took the examples. I'll quickly go through this. So Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. So we said mudaf has to be light and we cannot have al. So if you see here Ar-Rahmani, it looks like light, but it is starting with al. So this cannot be a candidate for mudaf. So this cannot be idafa. On the other hand, we have Rabbu. So this is light and we do not have al beginning. So we can say that this could be a mudaf. Now for us to know that if this is really a mudaf and mudaf ilay, the next ism has to be in jar. So if you see al-arshi is in jar. So Rabbu is light without al, and al-arshi is jar. So you can say the relationship between these two words is mudaf, mudaf ilay. So the translation would be the arsh of the Rabb. We are not talking about the specific meaning of the words for now, but you would add of in the meaning between these two words. Then ismi again is light without al. So this could be mudaf. You would immediately look into the next word, Allahi. The word Allahi is in jar. So mudaf can be any status. Yes, we will see the examples within this slide as well. But the mudaf ilay has to be in jar. So ismi is light, and the next, and there is no al, and Allahi is in jar. So we would say that this is also mudaf and mudaf ilay. So you would have the name of Allah. Rabbin nasi. So Rabbi is light without al. So this could be a mudaf. And an-nasi is in jar. So that's why this also would be considered as mudaf, mudaf ilay. Maliki, this is light again and without al by a jar next to it. So this also would be a mudaf and mudaf ilay. So the Maliki, Malikin Nasi. So this also is mudaf and mudaf ilay. Ilahi, again this is light without al beginning. So this is ilah, not al. This is a different word. Don't get confused that this is alif lam. An-nasi, again this is jar. So I'm just going quick. So this is your answer. So your mudaf can be any status. So Rasulu is in rafa, Allahi is in jar. So this is also mudaf, mudaf ilay. Now Rasula is nasab but light, and Allahi is in jar. So this is also mudaf, mudaf ilay. So the Prophet of Allah. The meaning of all these three is Prophet of Allah. When we would use them in the sentences, then we would see that what difference they make. But currently, in terms of these fragment meaning, all of them would mean the Prophet of Allah. And why am I adding the in the meaning the Prophet of Allah? Why not Prophet of Allah? We said because the mudaf cannot have al. How we know that the word Rasul is proper? Because the next word is Allah, and Allah is proper. So when the mudaf ilay is proper, then mudaf also would be proper. So that's why in the translation you may notice I'm saying the Prophet of Allah. Does it make sense? Is it clear with everyone? So I think we are. This is the example of the long fragment. So Maliki is light without al. So then this can be mudaf. When the next word is in jar, then this would become mudaf and mudaf ilay. Right? So if you see here, this is light without al. The next word is jar. So this would be mudaf, and this is mudaf ilay. Right? Now if you pay attention to this one, yawmi is also light. Right? So this is light and there is no al beginning. So this also can be mudaf. And to prove that this is also mudaf, the next word also has to be in jar status. So when this is in jar status, so this will be mudaf ilay. So this would be, now there is no al here, there is no al here, but there is an al here. So we would know that the whole fragment is proper. So we would say, in fact I missed this one, the master of the day of judgment. So the meaning has to be the master. You can add the here. So the master of the day of judgment. Yeah, so you would pay attention to two words, and then you would see if the next word also is meeting the same criteria, then it would be a longer fragment. So we said this can go on and on until the rules are followed or the rules are met. So the mudaf cannot have al, and mudaf ilay can have al. Now, ibna Maryama. So ibna is light, right? And there is no al. And Maryama, this was tricky, right? We discussed this. So is it jar or not? No? It's not jar? Wasibay? No? Do you remember fully flexible, partially flexible? So we said the names of non-Arab prophets and females are partially flexible. So they would have Maryamu, Maryama, Maryama. So when this can be nasab or jar, then before that, ism, for example, if we try to divide this one, where is my mouse? So if you look at this, if this one is light and without al, and the next word can be jar, then it would be jar. So this is jar. So this would be the son of Maryam. In fact, here also you should have the, because Maryam is the proper name. Okay, now this is something which we have not studied, so inshallah we will cover that. So we have so far studied 4 properties, which is status, number, and gender. Yeah, sure.
One more page back. So this one, Ikhwatu Yusufa.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one mudaf and mudaf ilayh?
It is. So Yusufu, Yusufa, Yusufa.
Okay. Okay.
Same as Maryam. Because Yusuf alayhi salam was not an Arab prophet.
In the example, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, is Rabbil Alameen, since it ends with Alamina, is that not mudaf or mudaf ilayh? Even though it's...
Rabbi is light, and Alamina can be jar as well, right?
Can it be jar?
It can be jar or not? Ina ending.
Okay, yeah.
So inshallah, after doing all the fragments, our first exercise in terms of doing a surah would be Surah Fatiha. So you would know, but yes, you're right. Yes, so it would be mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Any other questions? In fact, your answer is coming. So far we have studied four properties: status, number, gender, and type. SubhanAllah, looks like we will not be able to study the new topic today. But anyway, inshallah khair. So status, number, gender, and type. Now, we said that we were currently identifying the 4 properties for an ism, right? Now we have studied the fragment, and we can have the 4 properties for an individual ism, And then we would also have 4 properties of the full fragment as well. And how that would work, we would study now. So the word Rabbi, this is light, correct? So it is in jar. We do not have any identification that it is feminine. So we would say this is 1 masculine. But we so far do not know if this is proper or not, correct? We do not know because there is no al. We look at the next word, which is al-alamina. So aina ending help us to know that it could be nasab or jar. We said when we have the option that it could be nasab or jar, and we have the previous ism, which is light without al, then it is in jar. So then al-alamina is plural in jar status, and this is masculine, and because it is starting with al, so ina ending help us to know that this could be nasab or jar, correct? And this is plural chart based on what we have studied so far. And this is from the masculine chart. So far we are clear with jar, 3 and m. Then the al beginning help us to know that this is proper, right? So we said when the mudaf ilay is proper, the mudaf also would be proper. So because of Rabbi and then al-alamina, so because the mudaf ilay is proper, then the mudaf also would be proper. So the status of mudaf ilay cannot be nasab as the mudaf makes it jar. So this is jar because of these mudaf ilay, plus the mudaf cannot have al. So we would never know that mudaf alone is proper or not. And we would know this based on, where is my mouse? So when the mudaf ilay is proper, then we would say that the mudaf also is proper. So the properties of Rabbi would be jar, 1 masculine and proper. So now if we analyze these 2 ism individually, so this is jar, 1 masculine and proper, and this would be jar, 3 masculine and proper, and we know how. This is something which we have already studied. Is there any confusion between this?
Can be jar or nasab, but why you're not using nasab? Why you using jar only?
So the rule here is that if the first ism is light and it is without al, and the next ism could be jar, 100% it would be jar.
Okay, because of the first one.
That is how it works. That's why we said it could be, now we are saying it is.
Yep. Thanks.
Is it clear? And then we said as the mudaf will never have the starting of al, its type. So this is the type, right, which we have studied. So type, we studied proper names starting with al and all the other things would be dictated by mudaf ilay. So we may have scenarios where mudaf ilay is not proper. That means our mudaf also would be common. So mudaf ilay also would be common and mudaf also would be common. Is this clear? Samir? So now in whole Arabic, there are 2 reasons for an ism to be in jar. There are only 2 reasons. There is no other reason. The first reason is that the word has, like when the huruf jar comes before that, or the ism is mudaf ilay. So we just studied mudaf ilay, mudaf ilay. So when an ism is coming as mudaf ilay, we have already studied this one. And then the other reason, which inshallah we will be covering, we still have some time, so inshallah we will cover and then we will continue in the next session. So these are the only 2 reasons in Arabic where an ism can come in jar status. There is no other reason. So the first reason is when an ism is coming as a mudaf ilay. And the second reason would be something which inshallah we'll be covering today, where it is beaten by the word huruf jar. So there are few hurufs which are called huruf jar. So when those hurufs would come before any ism, they would make the next ism into jar status. Is there any confusion or any question so far? So idafa is the name of the fragment.
Yep. So it means it will always be jar.
So in idafa, mudaf ilay always would be jar.
Jar.
So the rule of idafa is, idafa has to be minimum of 2 ism. First ism will be light without al, and the second ism has to be in jar status.
Just
And which we saw the examples. There are many which we can take from Quran, but we already went through some of the examples. And the next would be that we have few huruf, a collection of huruf, which are called huruf jar. And when they come before any ism, they would make the next harf jar. Sorry, we are studying now, just now. So any confusion so far? I cannot hear you, sorry.
So these huruf jar not necessarily has to be muzaf alayh? Or
No,
it could be anything?
that is a different murakkab. So you remember, we said there are 5 fragments, 3 are between 2 ism, and 2 are between harf and an ism. And that would be actually one of the fragment. So huruf jar are huruf, not ism, and the next word would be an ism. So the huruf jar would make the next ism as jar. And inshallah, that is our topic. That was something which we were supposed to start. So if you don't have any specific questions, inshallah, we'll start the next one, next topic, and we have around 10 minutes. So inshallah, we will go through quickly, and then we will do this again in the next session, inshallah, if time permits. So now the next fragment is called jar majroor. So the jar majroor actually is a combination of huruf or harf with an ism. And in this combination, the first harf would be part of the collection of the huruf which are considered huruf jar. And then the next ism can be any ism, but these huruf will make the next ism into jar. And now I would need your help, so you repeat after me when I'm reading. So these are now as we memorize Muslim chart, you have to memorize these huruf as well for you to know. So the collection of huruf jar are ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So these are the combinations, ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. So you can take it in 3 chunks, right? Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. If you would repeat 10 times, inshallah, you would remember. So ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So these are called huruf jar. So if they come before any ism, they would make the next harf or the next ism, into jar. And I'll show you some of the examples. So for you to remember these ism, I would say take 3 huruf in a bunch. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, for example. So ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, then min, fi, an, and then ala, hatta, ila. So try to memorize these as well. And inshallah, if I can share with you the audio, so you can listen to the audio and memorize this as well, because this would come really handy for you. So you have to memorize this, similar to Muslim chart. Yes, Rayan.
You know these min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Does it mean anything?
If you would keep your mic away, I cannot hear you.
The min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Does it mean anything?
No, they definitely do have meanings, but we are not studying the meaning yet. You have to memorize them first.
When it says min, can that also be man and
No.
changed around? Okay.
It has to be exactly like this. So man is a different word, min is a different word. So ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So these are the huruf jar. And now I would show you some examples. So ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. If you see, wallahi. So waw is making the next ism into jar status. So if you see, the word Allah is in jar status. A'udhu billahi. So if you see bi, Allahi. So again, ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. So the bi, Allahi, the word Allahi is in jar status. Then we have A'udhu Billahi, this is something which we have already done. Min, ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. Now, do you remember this one? So we said min, when it comes, normally any sakin word or the harf which is in sukoon would take a kasra, right? Like this, if it is coming with before al. But min is an exception. So min would take fatha. So that's why this is man. It looks like minal, right? Originally this was sakin. So to join with al, grammatically, you would add an haraka on that, and that's why this has fatha. But this is min. Originally the word was min. So minash shaitani, that's why this is also in jar. Is it clear? Do you remember this one? Then alhamdu li Allahi. So this is one way of writing. Lillahi is li Allahi. So ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. So li Allahi. So the word li would make the next ism also into jar status. Li Allahi. So this actually is alhamdu li Allahi. And when they are joined together, lillahi, they are read as lillahi. Then bismi, yes Rayan.
You know how you in the first one you said alhamdulillah Allahi, don't you read it alhamdulillahi?
Say it again.
You know how it says there alhamdulillahi? Why did he say alhamdulillahi?
I just want people to understand that we have a huruf jar here. So the actual word is li Allahi, but when we read, we would join them together. So the actual word was like this, but in written, it would be written like this. And when you read also, you would read it lillahi. So I'm just separating them so that you understand that we have a huruf jar here. Is it clear? So we have B, ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. So B, and then this actually is ismi. So the word is ismi. That's why it is also bi ismi, and in joining you would write bismi. Yes. Can you give him the mic?
So in the earlier slides, you were comparing word by word. For example, if there were 3 words, you were comparing first 2 words and then second and third word. But here you're just looking at the characters and just.
So this fragment is a fragment where we have harf connecting with an ism. So these huruf are ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So these are huruf, they are not ism. Huruf connecting with an ism.
Okay.
So here, this is bi ismi. When joined together, they would be written as bismi. Now, if you see, we have some of the examples from Qur'an. So if you see, bi ashabi. So this again is bi followed by an ism. That's why ashabi is in jar. Then we have ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi. Fi is another huruf jar, and that's why you have tadlilin in jar. Then we have another example, ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw, min, fi, an, ala, hatta, ila. So here when it is joined together, we will discuss this separately, but it is when joined together, it would be written as alay. Ala would be written as alay. So alayhim is actually the joined version. Then here we have ba followed by hijaratin. So if you see, ba is making the next word into jar again. And then we have min sijilin. Again, this is followed by the huruf jar. That's why it is in jar. So we have around 4 minutes. Inshallah, we'll try to make it quick. So wal asri. So ba, ta, kaf, lam, waw. So the word waw again is making the next word into jar. Al-asri is in jar because of waw. Then if you see here, bata kaf lam waw min fi, so fi khusrin is also in jar because of the word fi. And then the other example is bil haqqi, so this is also because of ba, which is one of the huruf jar. And then bis sabri, so if you see sabri is again in jar, and that is jar because of the jar. So that's why the murakkab is called jar and majroor. So the huruf jar are called jar, and the ism which would become in jar status are called majroor. So the whole fragment is called jar majroor. So I think we will conclude here. If you have any questions, we can discuss that, and then we'll conclude, inshallah. Rayan, can you give him the mic?
Are these huruf jar
Can you keep it?
are these huruf jar can come without any rule, or there is something or some rule that allow them to come?
So there is no rule for the huruf, but the way this works, to make the fragment, they would be actually making the next ism into jar status, and they do have a meaning as well. We are not studying the meaning for now, but inshallah later we would.
And would that huruf jar make it izaf alayh as well?
Sorry? No. We are talking a different fragment now. This is not mudaf ilayh. This is jar majroor. So this is a different fragment altogether. This is not related to mudaf ilayh. That is a totally different fragment.
Yeah. But it's look like if it is in a jar, it could be mudaf alayh.
Yeah, so we studied that in Arabic there are only two reasons for an ism to be in jar status. One, when an ism come as mudaf ilayh, and the other is when it is connected to a huruf jar. So these are two different logics. So don't try to mix up both together.
5 that we were learning.
Yes, this is
Okay.
one of the fragment from those 5.
Okay. So we've learned 2 completely right
So this
now.
is what we have studied earlier.
We've learned both of them completely now. Idafa.
So this is what we are studying, jar majroor, and earlier we studied idafa.
Okay.
Okay, I think with this we'll conclude. We have 1 minute to adhan. Inshallah, we'll get ready for salah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khairan. Abdullah. Yeah. Can you stop the live stream? Sorry. Yeah, we can.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله